EK Real Spicy with more clips. Don't forget to subscribe and bang on that like button. Now let's get into it.
Hey, but this better be good, god damn it!
So we got Harley, LA, 31, Pisces. She works in mental health, no kids. What kind of man you looking for, boo?
Okay, so I am looking for someone who is considerate, someone thoughtful, someone who can communicate their needs, someone who's not avoidant of depth, not averse to depth, not overwhelmed by substance, somebody who is not avoidant of conflict, someone who is honest, trustworthy, kind, sweet, reliable, a person of their word for sure, and someone with a high emotional intelligence.
Okay, what are your deal breakers?
Somebody with kids, someone who doesn't believe in science, so like an anti-vaxxer, somebody who's right-wing, conservative, moderate, anybody who's not liberal or left-wing is a deal breaker. Someone who smokes cigarettes. That's probably it, I guess.
So if a man is not vaccinated, you don't want to date him?
Mostly no. I'm open to like hearing people's reasoning. If it's something that has to do with like, let's say maybe religion, or specifically if they're immunocompromised. So if they were to be vaccinated, they have a higher propensity for death or becoming sick, then I view that differently. But somebody who just like does not believe in science is a no for me. Somebody who wasn't vaccinated since a child, so then they would be likely to become sick if they were vaccinated now, that's different than someone who was vaccinated as a kid and now opts to not be vaccinated.
I mean, started out decent. And look, no matter what side of the fence you're on with some of her beliefs, preferences are preferences, right? I mean, if you stand on it, that's your preferences. You got the right to live how you want to live. You know what I mean? I'm not even judging all of that. I'm not even going to go into all of that. But one thing I did hear, right, is, and you might have caught it, is she wants a man that doesn't avoid conflict. And I can sort of understand that, but I would want to get some kind of context to that, kind of see what she really meant by that. When I hear something like that, when I hear women say this, I could take it a few ways, right? Like, but my first thought is she's very combative, right? That's kind of what I get from her. You know, I can respect that she stands on what she stands on. She has her beliefs, and she's gonna live by that. I totally understand that. I can respect that. But certain combative women, they love to argue, right? They love to compete with you. And they love to be someone who needs to be handled at the end of the day. And it's almost like that's a part of being with them. It's part of the package, right? Handling them and all of that. But see, when you combine that with sort of how her mindset is, that could be a circular thing. On the flip side, you could also say that she wants a guy who can handle conflicts as it arises, right? Not back down from conflict. And I can get that. That's what I could understand, right? So you got to kind of really peep what they may mean by something like this, because I see men going to prison or dying because of getting into conflicts, unnecessary conflicts at that.
Do you want kids one day?
No, ma'am.
You don't want kids?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm gonna add this though. She in great shape.
So did the guy have kids already?
No.
So
I would be looking for someone who doesn't have kids and doesn't want kids.
Okay.
Like somebody who's more of either they could live without having kids, but not somebody who's like, absolutely, I want kids. So either you don't want them or you're okay with never having them.
Okay. And you don't want them to have kids already?
No. Unless they're adults, but then his age would likely be higher than my range if that were the case.
Okay.
I'm hyper independent. I'm used to things in my space being the way that it is. Any man who's looking for, and this is a deal breaker part, but any man who's looking for a woman who is quote unquote submissive, or will utilize the term submissive or feminine, or even the trio of feminine fit No, that's a no.
Damn. She hit you with the hyper independent. You know what I'm saying? Huh. I mean, listen, I could respect being clear of what you want. We need more of that. And there's definitely a chip on her shoulders, though, when you had this mindset. I think if you can do that without the combativeness and use your independence for the greater good of the household, then I'm all for that. I'm all for it. But it seems to be that the words independent from women and disrespect go hand in hand. Because you can do things yourself. You act as if you don't need a man. And tend to like to undermine the men in your life based off that. Even the ones that have done good things for you. And like I said, the chip on your shoulder is fine. As long as you're using that for the greater good.
And that desires a woman that is fit and feminine. If he says that, he's a turn off to you.
He can say fit, but I think the combination of fit, feminine, but it's specific more so to submissive, fit, feminine. Just because, in my understanding, that's very much Kevin Samuels' rhetoric, and usually that comes from a guy who's more on the misogynistic end of things. And I'm not looking to be led by anybody. I'm not looking to be guided. I'm not looking to submit to anybody. I want to be a partner.
So any man, so let's take the words separately. If a man says he wants a submissive woman, you don't want to be with that man?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if he wants to be with a fit woman, that wouldn't turn you off?
Right.
If he wants to be with a feminine woman, that wouldn't turn you off? Or what does that turn?
It depends on how he would define feminine, only because specifically, I don't identify as being, I'm more aligned with my masculine energy than my feminine energy. And that's just me being very forthcoming about it. And so when I hear feminine, I interpret that as like almost excessive softness.
Yeah, I mean, the way she's laying it out, it's just all about ego, right? She just doesn't like the idea of a man leading her. That's what it comes down to. She don't like the idea of a man leading her. Then she says she doesn't want to have to lead herself, right? Like, y'all gotta make this shit make sense, man.
While I have, of course, feminine qualities and I can be nurturing and supportive and loving, I don't subscribe to necessarily femininity. Though, of course, again, I have a mix of both, but I'm more aligned in my masculine energy than the feminine.
Okay, so with that being said, one would say that you need a beta male, a man that wouldn't mind you in the leading position. So do you think that's the type of man that would work best for you?
I don't think I necessarily subscribe to that, because a beta male, or by, I guess, definition of beta male, would mean that I didn't have to lead, even though I'm comfortable with leading. But I'm seeking more of a partner.
But you just said you don't want to be led. So
I don't want to be led. No.
So if you don't want to be led and you don't want him to be the leader, then who leads the relationship?
Is it not possible to just be partners? Because the way that I'm viewing it is the idea that you don't have to lead, I don't have to lead, or even taking turns in leading. But I guess I don't view it as leading. I view it as like we're both equals in it. And so I could decide I want to do this and you go along with that, and you decide, okay, well, I kind of want to do that, and then I could go along with that.
So you guys, let's talk about the money. So you split the bills equally too?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, is that the kind of situation you desire? So you'll be 50-50 on everything. Your 50-50 partnership relationship, 50-50 bills as well.
Yeah, now I see in Kendra's comments, they're saying that she should go on ahead and get with a stud, right? She should go ahead and get with a stud, forget about dudes, they're not going for it. But I think she would be the stud, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think she would be the studs. I don't even think studs would get with her. Not with that type of setup. So she's literally in no man's land. Now you recognize the tomboy types of girls that are different, right? They're not quite lesbian, but maybe they've been open to it, but they generally like guys more. But they play ball, they've been playing sports, running track, doing more physical activities, and so they can kind of run with that too. And so they have a little bit more of a guy mindset in some aspects and more competitive spirit. And like I said, that could work. that could really work with some guys as well. Maybe they're not quite as feminine or have display feminine qualities as some of the other women who aren't into that. But there's a fine line. There's definitely a fine line. On the flip side, I think this will be a tough sell for some men. Just hearing it, how she's explaining it, there's just a lot of things that points to her being ultra competitive, like against her men, not with her men, against them, and it really being about ego. Like that's usually a no-go for a lot of men, right? Like what if the guy that you meet is a natural leader and he has better discernment than you, just overall in life? He has more experience than you. Would you reject him and his leadership because you just refuse to be led? You don't like the idea of being led? You don't like how that feels to you? That bruises your ego? This could be a big problem. But yes sir, yes sir. It's about that time. It's about that time. Let me know what y'all think, man. Hit me in them comments. This is EK, Real Spicy, signing out. And I'm gonna check y'all in the next video. And like that, be easy. Go.